Good evening and welcome to the first episode of Brewing It Live, where me and the furniture, Han, who's always with me at the moment, brew a deck from scratch with your help. So,
Oh,
yeah, there you are. Because this is the first episode, we had no participation of who we should be brewing, so we decided that we would be brewing Yurlok.
Yurlok, mana burn, good fun times.
Oh yeah. Now, I had a name for this deck, and I was going to call it Burn Baby.
No second baby?
Burn Baby Baby?
No, burn baby burn.
Well then, that's Burn Baby Burn, and we're going to create that deck.
My deck, it's not a full deck. However, the name I went with was "Just Want to Watch the World Burn." Batman reference.
I mean, that's kind of what we want to do, isn't it?
More or less.
Okay. We're not going to do the lands as such, so what we're going to do is, 36 lands, 12 of each, because it is Jund.
Yup.
We'll put the mountains in. This will be... Oh, look. There we go. We need a commander.
Generally a good place to start.
There we go. There's the commander.
But, lands matter, right?
You can't do anything without lands unless you manaless dredge. Oh, look at those. They've added the snows. Oh, let's just put that in.
The snows with that frosting. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Those look so nice.
Okay, so the commander we've chosen is Yurlok of Scorch Thrash. 1 black, red, green for a 4/4. Legendary creature, Vinashnu Shaman. Has vigilance. A player losing unspent mana causes that player to lose that much life. Tap with 1 mana. Each player adds Jund. So,
Yep.
I think you're on the same wavelength as me, is that we just want to give everyone mana and be kind of a group hug deck. I say group hug in
Yes.
the most sarcastic way possible.
I mean, this kind of hug is yes, we're going to be assisting everybody with mana. Oh, did you just hold a hot piece of coal in your hand?
Exactly. You better have a way of using that mana.
And if you don't, that's not my fault.
Yeah. We're just helping you cast your spells.
Precisely. On your upkeep.
So, I had a few cards I wanted to suggest straight away.
Absolutely.
I know the audience will give us some examples of what they want to put in, and we would happily let your participation influence us. But the first card I wanted was Eladamri's Vineyard.
That's actually one of the ones that we already have a suggestion for in chat.
Oh, okay.
So somebody else is on the same wavelength too.
On the same wavelength. I like it. I like it. And if we're going down that way, how about Shizu's Caller of Autumn? So,
The other one that we got from Ashen looks like is Magus of the Vineyard.
Magus of the Vineyard.
Mm-hmm.
At the beginning of each player's pre-combat main phase, add double green to that player's mana pool. Nice. And the one that I added was at the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player adds triple green to their mana pool. This mana doesn't cause mana burn. However, Yurlok doesn't cause mana burn, so it's still gonna work.
Seems particularly nasty.
I mean, what have you got for the deck?
Let me just touch on Mages of the Vineyard 1 second, though. So the one that was suggested was at the beginning of each player's pre-combat main phase, add green to that player's mana pool, and this is a 1 green mana to cast CMC with 1/1 human wizard. So yeah, that can get up and running fairly quickly.
Along with the vineyard, so
Yeah. So, um, if we're continuing along the lines of low CMC, I had a couple that I had in mind. So, Eladomri's Vineyard was also a part of mine, so I think we're all on the same page. Um, this one is a bit on the expensive side as far as a cost. However, it seemed to fit fairly well for me. My suggestion was going to start right off with a Bloodchief Ascension. So, Bloodchief Ascension, I'll read it off, is 1 black mana for an enchantment. At the beginning of each end step, if an opponent lost 2 or more life this turn, you may put a quest counter on Bloodchief Ascension, and whenever a card is put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, if Bloodchief Ascension has 3 or more quest counters on it, you may have the player lose 2 life. If you do, you gain 2 life.
okay.
So as you start to burn them away, inevitably, we might get burned as well from this.
True.
But if we don't, and the deck is functioning properly, it just means that we gain 2 life. And just incremental value from it.
Okay.
And if I'm going to add one more as a borderline auto include in Yurlok, I was going to suggest Helix Pinnacle, because that one is absolutely fantastic in Yurlok.
So you have stolen the card that I was keeping aside from you.
No, that one's the most obvious one. Honestly, it's the one that literally goes perfect in Yurlok.
It does. I mean, it's Shroud for starters. You pay X, put X tower counters on Helix Pinnacle, and at the beginning of your upkeep, if there are 100 or more tower counters on Helix Pinnacle, you win the game. It's a
Yep.
perfect mana sink.
It really is. It's not targetable. So short of a mass board wipe, such as austere command or something to that extent, Bane of Progress, it will just stick around and people can look at it
And just see it getting
in fear
bigger.
until your upkeep. Yeah, and it has to be dealt with before your upkeep begins, which is also very
That's a very nice little one.
nice little package.
So
Absolutely.
we have a win con at least and a mana sink. I was also
Primary one. The primary
That
one
is
is
the
just
primary
burning them
one.
out. Oh, Helix Pinnacle is the primary one. Okay.
yeah.
Everything else might as well be secondary, I suppose.
All right.
Yeah, did you have anything else that's on the low CMC side?
I
'Cause
mean,
had
I have a
one
good
one
enchantment for 3. So I was looking through the new Masters set, Double Masters,
Sure.
and found Heartbeat of the Spring.
Heartbeat of the Spring. Yep.
2 and a green enchantment. Whenever a player taps a land for mana, that player adds 1 mana of any type that land would produce.
Yep. It
So,
was
although it's
a
not
fantastic reprint of Mana Flare.
as long as it's not an additional mana, but it does mean our 3 colors are easier.
Yep, absolutely. Um, yeah, along the same lines of Heartbeat of Spring, I also found Mana Flare, so it's a little bit of redundancy and consistency's sake. I see Ashen is suggesting here Horizon Stone, which was also on my list. We're also grabbing Citadel of Pain, War's Toll, and Overabundance. So let's
Okay.
go ahead and start with Horizon Stone.
Horizon Stone is a great one because if we would lose unspent mana, it becomes colorless instead, which saves us from the mana burn, which is an amazing little card.
It's perfect.
And it's only 5
'Cause-
mana, so we should be able to get that pretty quickly, especially that we're adding 3 to ourselves.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and you can, you know, you can always use this in conjunction with the aforementioned Helix Pinnacle.
Yeah.
And if you just drop your Helix Pinnacle whenever it's, you know, got 100 stored away, I don't think that ever happens. But it looks if it looks completely unthreatening on the board, just being colorless mana, which once you start getting up to like 20 and 30, people might look at you weird.
They might start, yeah.
A little bit. So, but in theory, if you have 100 mana squirreled away, and then you drop a Helix Pinnacle, you could potentially win immediately.
Potentially. What was the other card that
um,
was suggested?
the other one we have is a fantastic one. I'm actually currently building a commander deck around this, and I've discussed this with you before, Lotus. But Belby, Corrupted Observer. So this is a black and a green, so Golgari for a zombie elf 2/2, which reads at the beginning of each player's pre-combat main phase. That player adds colorless, colorless for each of your opponents who lost life this turn. So if we're burning each player for even just one, it means that we get 6 mana for free at the beginning of the post combat main phase.
Okay, so main phase 2.
Yep.
Huh. And that means we can then go into our bigger spells even quicker.
Yep. There's some crazy things you can do with Belby at the helm, but just as a support for Yurlok, very, very good.
Hmm. And was there another?
Citadel of Pain. So Citadel of Pain
Yeah.
reads as the following. 2 and 1 red, so 3 CMC. It's a red enchantment that has, at the beginning of each player's turn, Citadel of Pain deals X damage to that player, where X is the number of untapped lands they control.
Oh, that's spicy.
That one's a good one.
That one is a good one. I mean, I think that leads one onto that I had suggested. Power Surge. So, Power Surge is a 2-mana enchantment, and it reads, during each player's upkeep, Power Surge deals that player 1 damage for each land they control that was untapped at the beginning of the turn before the untap step.
Yep. So
if they're not going to get mana burn, they're going to get damage from Power Surge.
right, which feeds straight into another another route that Yurlok likes to do, and one that our friend Brian from Into the 99 absolutely loves to play. I believe Mana Barbs just kind of goes hand in hand with that. Mana Barbs is another red enchantment, fantastic for 3 in a red, and it is whenever a player taps a land for mana, Mana Barbs will deal 1 damage to that player. So in conjunction, kind of has a damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah, pretty much.
Did we say that we were building a nice deck?
I never said that.
Nope.
I
Neither
just
did I.
said we were brewing a mad deck.
Yep. I am 100% in agreement. So, at this point in time, I mean, even with a little bit of damage burning here, is it safe to say that we would deal at least 3 damage
I would
per turn with the Yurlok ability?
I mean, yeah, he is a 4/4 as well, so at the very least we can swing in.
Right. Especially with that vigilance. So I had one. This is one that's actually currently in my obscure cards section here
Okay.
that I wanted to bring to the forefront. Um, I had a an enchantment that I was thinking about called Pain Magnification. Have you heard of that one?
No.
It's pretty fantastic. So, Pain Magnification is one and Rakdos, which is black and red. An enchantment that reads, whenever an opponent is dealt three or more damage by a single source, that player discards a card. Now, keep in mind that says whenever.
And then you've got Blood Chief's Ascension there.
Right.
Okay. I can see how this is going to go. I also found another
So,
problem with our mana burn problem ourselves as well, by the way.
oh, do tell.
So, just simply the Great Henge.
Hmm.
It
I
gains us
hadn't even
life,
considered that one.
and we get to draw cards when creatures enter, and put +1 counters on them.
Yeah, seems great. I think I think I like that one quite a bit actually.
Yeah. And if we have Yurlok out, it's going to cost 4 less, so it's only going to cost 3 in double green.
Hmm. I like it. I like it a lot.
I
And
also.
let's. I'm about to go back to Ashen here. He's got War's Toll, and then after that, one that you actually suggested to me for a different deck not too long ago. Overabundance was suggested.
War's Toll. Whenever an opponent taps a land for mana, tap all lands that player controls. If a creature an opponent controls attacks, all creatures that opponent controls attacks if able. Seems reasonable.
No, it certainly does not. Every time I've seen this ever hit the table, it's always been nope. That has to be removed.
That,
If it's not counterspelled outright, I don't think it's ever lasted a go around at the table in the history of me playing ever.
what was the other card?
The other one was Overabundance, which you specifically had actually recommended to me not more than a week ago.
Yeah. Whenever a player taps a land for mana, that player adds 1 additional mana to their mana pool of the same type, and Overabundance deals 1 damage to them.
So simultaneously, it's going to make you do even more math and burn you
Yep.
immediately. I love it so much.
This is going well. I
Yep.
With all this mana and mana burn going on, I feel like we need another mana sink. So this one's just a simple one that I had in my mind. Crawling Barrens.
That
It,
one is actually not on my radar. What does
it's
that one do?
okay. So it taps for colorless, or you can pay 4 generic and put 2+1/+1 counters on it. Then you may have it become a 0/0 elemental creature to end a turn that's still a land.
Yeah,
So
seems pretty good.
we can make this land really big.
You're gonna be swinging with a really big land. Is that the idea?
I mean, that's one of them. The other
Oh boy.
the other land I had was Kessel Wolfrun.
Yep. Kessig Wolf Run. That was actually on my list as well. Yeah.
Yeah, because we
And
can
this
pay
is
as much as we
and you
want.
can do this and you can do this on anybody's turn.
Yep. To anyone's creature.
That seems pretty good. That seems pretty good. If I might suggest a mana sink as well, um, have you ever had a situation where you just have a lot of mana and there's a distinct problem at the table, but you've just never you've had to if there's a problem at the table, and don't say that it's me because it's usually me,
It's
but
usually you.
if at the table you need to deal with somebody collectively, uh,
Okay.
there's one I might suggest for a situation like that. I've got Zancha, Sleeper Agent, was one I had in mind. So Zancha is a 3 CMC, 1 black, red, for a legendary creature. As it enters the battlefield, an opponent of your choice gains control of it. Zancha attacks each combat if able, and can't attack you or a planeswalker the owner controls. However, the last line of text is the one that I was interested in most. Pay 3 mana for an activated ability. Zancha's controller, the person you gave it to,
Yeah.
loses 3 life, and you draw a card. And any player may activate this ability. So,
So you make
looking back up at Yurlok, hey, I'll pay 1 mana to give each player 3. Do we all want to make this
Oh,
person lose 3 life or lose life?
lose 2 life and you draw a card.
And yeah, you're group hugging the table, right?
I
Here,
mean,
draw a card. Just make this person lose 2 life from each of us.
the person that's actually controlling it can do it to themselves, surely.
Absolutely. If they need to draw an answer, we got you.
We're even giving them the mana to do it.
It seems as group huggy as this deck gets, right?
That seems reasonable. This is disgusting. See, I had another mana sink that was more of it was an odd one, but I liked it. So it kind of went in my little list. So I'll see what you think.
Hit me.
Dragon Roost.
Dragon Roost.
4
I've not
red
heard of
red
this.
for an enchantment. For some reason it's come up in Spanish. Let me see if I can change the language. Let's add it and change it. So Dragon Roost is 4 red red for an enchantment that you can pay 5 red red and put a 5/5 red dragon creature token into play with flying.
So 7 mana in order to put a 5/5 dragon at any time.
Yeah.
I actually like the flavor text a lot. Dragons erupt from the peaks of chaos and flow from rivers of molten rage.
If we've got this much mana, we need something to do with it.
I would agree.
Doesn't always have to be efficient.
No, certainly not.
uh,
Oh my goodness, that's beautiful.
so
So now we're making flyers.
now we're making flyers. We are a little bit light on the creature front, though. I have sinned, so I'm gonna make a
Oh,
suggestion.
sure. You first. I've got 2 in mind as far as as far as
I'm just gonna shove in Walking
creatures are
Ballista.
concerned. Seems fair.
It's
Nice little mana sink.
yeah, it's got a
Absolutely.
mana sink built into it, and we can start dealing with pesky 1/1s.
Sounds fair. Um, yeah, Walking Ballista, if you wanted to go the infinite route, I mean, the auto includes our Mikaeus the Unhallowed, since we're in black. Not that I would want to suggest it for this deck, but just so that if anybody is aware and wanted to go that route, that is a fantastic infinite combo that people will have to stop if you wanted to go that route for a win con. I personally don't enjoy infinite combos unless your play group is amenable to that. Um, so I actually have one that was suggested from Ashen here, and I'm gonna kind of group it together because you can go the creature route or you can go an enchantment route.
Okay.
But Ashen suggested Archfiend of Despair. It is a wound reflection ability, which is the enchantment version. So, I, if I recall, the stats for Archfiend are 7/7 as a demon. I believe
6/6.
Archfiend costs 9.
Archfiend
It's
of
been a while since I've
Despair
seen
is 6
Archfiend.
double black for a flying 6/6 demon where your opponents can't gain life. At the beginning of each end step, each opponent loses life equal to the life that player lost this turn.
There we go. So, yeah, the wound reflection ability on a creature.
So, wound reflection then.
Sure. So, wound reflection, Archfiend of Despair. Ashton does say that it is a little bit expensive money wise for the Archfiend. I'm not sure. I know wound
$37.
reflection. Yeah, I think wound reflection's a little bit cheaper, and it has been
$5.
reprinted. Yep,
Yeah.
recently in Double Masters. So,
Yeah.
so two creatures that I have in mind, for specifically around. Well, the first one's going to be specifically around Yurlok. Maybe I'll go with the second one first. Uh, my suggestion here is a Rakdos, Lord of Riots. With all this mana burn and damage we're doing, I don't think that spectacle cost to get Rakdos out is going to be too difficult.
Rakdos, Lord of Riots.
Absolutely. It's just been reprinted for.
You can't cast
Isn't it-
Rakdos, Lord of Riots unless an opponent lost life this turn. Flying Trample 6/6. Creatures spells you cast cost 1 generic less to cast for each 1 life your opponents have lost this turn. Okay.
Right. So anything besides colored mana can essentially be cheapened. Meaning, if it's a, oh, I don't know,
Archfiend of Despair.
one red. Yep, sure. Archfiend of Despair. Yeah, all of the generic mana costs can very easily be reduced to nothing, and all you'd have to pay is 2 black, I believe.
I mean, that seems really, really good.
Yep. So play out more creatures, gain more life with Great Henge, and continue to go to town. Just keep playing more creatures. Hey, what's going on, Benson?
Hey,
I
Benson.
see Benson in the chat. He says, "Hey, we're not here for the budget. We're here for the brilliance."
So,
And I see Tracy in the chat. I just suggested Rakdos, and yep, Tracy says, "My Lord and Savior," with a red heart, black heart, red heart, black heart. You did that in the wrong order.
aw. It's
Black,
chaos.
black, red, red.
Let the chaos ensue.
Oh, absolutely.
My next creature I was going to suggest was Leyline Tyrant. Because
Yep.
for 2 red red, you get a flying 4/4 dragon. That's pretty good. You don't lose unspent red mana as steps and phases end, which is really good for what we're doing. But when it dies, you may pay any amount of red. When you do, it deals that much damage to any target. I think that just
Yep.
fits this perfectly.
Yep. Fairly auto include. I would like to suggest one that pairs beautifully, specifically with Leyline Tyrant, since that the condition on Leyline Tyrant is only red mana, correct?
It is.
So my next suggestion is one from my early days. I actually pulled a foil version of this very early when I started on Magic. It is a Neheb the Eternal. Neheb the Eternal is a legendary zombie minotaur warrior. He costs 3 and 2 red, or just 2 red potentially if you have Lord of Rakdos out. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
So this creature is a 4/6, and it has Afflict 3. Afflict is a mechanic that was in Hour of Devastation, which reads, whenever this creature becomes blocked, defending player loses the Afflict number's worth of life. So if this creature becomes blocked for whatever reason, and it's a 4/6 body, it will still deal 3 damage to the player, the defending player.
Nice.
And it also reads at the beginning of your post combat main phase, add red to your mana pool for each one life your opponents have lost this turn. So essentially, if we use mana burn to make them lose any amount of life, whether it be with Rakdos Lord of Riot's trampling and flying, or just through mana burn, on main 2, we are going to be generating an insane amount of red mana that doesn't go away with Leyline Tyrant.
I mean, that seems pretty decent.
That so Neheb is one of my absolute favorite all-star cards in this deck. I think that it could go completely absurd as far as your red mana generation.
Yeah. Especially if we've got like Wartoll going off and everything else.
Yep. Or like any of the aforementioned aforementioned nice group huggy cards.
Yeah, group huggy. That's what we're going with. Now, obviously the term mana burn doesn't exist anymore. So I repurposed it to mana burn, meaning also players playing lands burn them. So how do you feel about Zozu?
Zozu. Oh, I remember this commander.
Whenever a land enters the battlefield, Zozu the Punisher deals 2 damage to that land's controller. That's mana burn, right?
Yes. I don't personally enjoy messing with people's lands this much, but when it goes this far, yeah, I suppose you might as well throw it in. At least it's not.
There's a black version called Nightshade Harvester as well.
Oof.
3 and a black for a 2/2. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, that player loses 1 life. Put a +1 counter on Nightshade Harvester.
Yep. Yep, that sounds pretty nasty.
We didn't say it was going to be a fun deck to play against.
No, it's going to be a fun deck to play, not to play against.
Yeah.
Certainly. I've actually got I've got 2 that work pretty well for this as well.
Okay.
Actually, so I don't know how you feel about it. Actually, I'm going a different route with it. Actually, so Yurlok has vigilance and likes to tap, correct?
Yeah.
So why not let him tap and untap?
I'm listening.
So that we could do it again. Especially if we have anything like Heartbeat of Spring and generating extra mana. We can do one. I have a fun one called Instill Energy.
Okay.
So it's a 1 green mana enchantment that the enchanted creature has haste. And you can untap the creature. You can only do it once per turn, but you can untap it for free.
Huh. I like that.
So in theory, if you instill energy on Yurlok and you pay 1 life, everybody gains 3 mana. And you can do this at any point. So you can do this on your upkeep, you can do it at any point. And just add 6 mana and burn the table for 6, or minus whatever mana you're not using on yourself.
Yeah. I mean, we can. Yeah.
My personal favorite way to use this is actually, I had another card that's called Havoc Festival.
I'm listening.
So we're adding Jund twice by doing this, right?
Yeah.
Havoc Festival is a 6 mana enchantment, 4 red and a black. which is all covered by doing this, and
Sure.
it reads the players can't gain life, and at the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player loses half of their life rounded up.
Oh.
Now we're getting into some fun amount of loss of life. I would like to reflect back towards the Neheb that I had mentioned earlier.
Hang on. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player loses half their life rounded up. Archfiend of
Right.
Despair, at the beginning of each player's end step, each opponent loses life equal to the life that player lost that turn.
Yeah,
That's just. That works very nicely.
it really does.
But also Neheb, as you say.
Yeah. Don't mind me. We'll go ahead and generate a bunch of red mana, and we'll either use it on mana sinks or we'll just squirrel it away.
Ah, this. Okay, okay.
Yeah. So the reason I like Instill Energy so much is because again, you can generate six Jund mana, which is everything you want. It basically pays for any double pips on your six CMC, no problem.
Yep.
It it lets you play out whatever you've got immediately.
Okay.
Um, so I've got some suggestions from chat. We have uh, Benson says, so we've already been over mana barbs, Benson, but Ankh of Mishra and Destructive Flow. Benson says, please, Destructive Flow.
Destructive Flow. Black, red, green. Enchantment. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacrifices a non-basic land.
Yep.
I mean, yes. If we've got Yurlok out, we're producing all the mana we need.
Correct. Benson also says to include Blood Moon and that people should run basics.
Oh no. Are we going to put Blood Moon in?
I don't see why not. We're trying to make red mana, clearly, with Nahab and
Yeah?
Leyline Tyrant.
Sure, it goes in. And I honestly think we forgot one of the basics, Dictate of Carmetra.
Yeah,
That
we
that
can do that.
that definitely needs to go in.
Hey Benson, just so you know, I'm gonna put a creature in that supplements your idea right now. To, Lotus, can you add a Stone Shaker Shaman to the party?
2 and a red. At the end of each player's turn, that player sacrifices an untapped land. Now that one fits. That is good. I like that one.
Definitely not here to make friends.
Okay, I know you said earlier that you didn't want to go infinite.
I personally don't. I don't think that we should leave it out though.
Okay, how about Umbral Mantle? Equip creature has pay 3 generic, untap this creature, it gets +2/+2 to end of turn. So it's not exactly infinite in regards it sets itself off with Yurlok, but Yurlok will pay for itself to untap itself.
Yeah. So
So
you can untap as many times as you have one mana.
yeah,
Yeah, when we generate a lot of mana like this, I mean, I don't see why not.
I mean that just seems to flow nicely.
Yeah.
Now, we don't have many instants of sorceries for protection. I'll be honest.
No, No, I've got plenty. We just haven't gotten there
Okay.
yet.
We've only got 12
My
creatures
favorite
as
one.
well. Our
Oh
enchantments are
no.
through the roof.
Oh yeah. I mean, Yurlok is the highlight. Everybody can deal with our enchantments. Is basically the name of the game with Yurlok, in my personal opinion.
That's
Um,
fair.
so having this many enchantments, we have the option of going the enchantress route to draw more enchantments and more pain for the table.
Yeah.
However, we do have a decent amount of protection that we can offer Yurlok, um, especially being in red and black. We could do it a couple of different ways. I have, uh, as a personal favorite, I have Bolt Bend on here, which is three in a red for a an instant that actually costs three less if we have our commander out.
Yeah.
So your luck being a four power makes it actually just cost one red, and it will change the target of a target spell or ability with a single target. So it is a niche deflecting SWAT. So if you don't run deflecting SWAT in this deck specifically, because it might be in one of your other commander decks, Bolt Bend is a extremely budget friendly 25-cent card
Yeah.
that will replace it for admittedly one mana, but it can protect your lock.
And wasn't this
Um,
the card that got me killed in the last stream?
I mean, it just goes to prove how useful it can be, right? Is
It's,
that what are you just vouching for that?
yeah, it's very useful.
Let me see here. I've got so we've got Ashen that said Sword of Perunes.
Sword of Prunes?
Paruns, Paruns.
Ah, Paruns.
I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but yes.
4 generic, equip for 3. As long as the equipped creature is tapped, tap creatures you control get +2/+0. As long as equipped creature is untapped, untapped creatures you control get +0/+2. Pay 3, you may tap or untap equipped creature. Ooh, that's similar to the one that I've just suggested. Sword of Parons and Umbral Mantle.
Right.
Except it's got
So yeah,
better benefits.
yeah. So if we're doing some more untapping fun, then yeah, it'll just continue to let that go on further. Um, for myself, we also have access to Veil of Summer. I believe there's another one called Autumn's Veil as well, along the same lines. They're green instants that essentially let you uh, not be countered or gives you and your permanents hexproof. Um, they're a little bit. I think Veil of Summer, for example, is like around $10. I'm not 100% certain on Autumn's Veil, but those are also two great protection pieces for your lock for one mana.
If we're going down that route as well, what about Heroic Intervention?
Absolutely. Yeah, give you and all your permanents indestructible.
And Hexproof.
Yep. People might hate on your lock a little bit, but we gotta set them straight.
$10 for Veil of Summer, Autumn's Veil 50 cents,
Yep.
Heroic Intervention.
It's got a reprint in M21, so I believe it's $6-7 last I checked.
Yeah, let's try and find it because at the moment it's not giving me a. Let's just go for the original. $10 for the original.
Okay.
It's not
The
too
original,
bad.
yeah. The price went down with the recent set.
Yeah.
If I might be so bold as to include one more enchantment here.
I have one more on the list as well. So what's yours?
Mine is actually in my auto include section with Helix Pinnacle. It is on the expensive side, but it
Okay.
seems so good for what it does. Uh, Exquisite Blood, which did get a reprint in Jumpstart, I believe. Exquisite Blood is a 5 mana enchantment, 4 and a black, for whenever an opponent loses life, you gain that much life.
Are we going to put in Sanguine Bond then to finish the cycle?
We can. Again, my personal opinion is don't go infinite. However, yes, that would work.
Or do we leave
I
that out
just
because it's not what we're
oh,
here to do?
I just enjoyed personally like having the exquisite blood and wound reflection.
Yeah, I think we don't need another enchantment that doesn't do what we want it to do.
Right.
So we'll leave that infinite out.
The one, yeah, the one that I paired with it wasn't actually Sanguine Bond. It was Tainted Remedy.
Tainted Remedy. Oh, okay, yes.
It's a very fun one.
Yeah, that seems fair. Are we adding it or
Tainted
not?
Remedy is. I would add it, but that's just me. I like going that route more than Sanguine Bond. Yeah, just don't gain life because the the enchantment is 2 and a black for an enchantment that has if an opponent would gain life, that player loses that much life instead, and therefore it turns it around and gains you life instead.
Yeah. So I had another enchantment, Tectonic Instability.
I am not familiar with this one.
It's 2 and a red for an enchantment. Whenever a land comes into play, tap all lands its controller controls.
Okay.
So they're either going to tap them for mana and not use them all, or just waste their lands.
I think we have sufficient land hate in this deck. Would you say?
Yeah, I think we've done with the enchantment side of things.
What's our total up to at this point in time?
78 cards.
Phenomenal. So I've got a strange artifact. I actually looked it up. I believe this was in the Saskia Commander deck, and it hasn't been reprinted. And it is currently sitting at $28. But if anybody ever bought one of the Saskia Commander decks, they have a copy of this, and it's probably sitting around doing more or less nothing.
Okay.
But the card is called Conqueror's Flail. It is a 2 mana artifact. Did you want to go ahead and read it actually, Lotus?
Okay.
Are you familiar with the card?
No. So 2 generic, 2 to equipped. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each colour among permanents you control. As long as Conqueror's Flail is attached to a creature, your opponents can't cast spells during your turn. Huh. That's pretty neat.
So the idea with Conqueror's Flail is that since your opponents can't cast spells only during your turn, it generally doesn't come off as a huge threat, but people start to figure it out quite quickly that, oh, I can't run instants or use my mana that you're giving me very efficiently.
Oh. Yeah, now I see it.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, no, that...
And it just has to be attached to a creature. It doesn't even have to be attached to Yurlok, which is the amazing part.
No. Okay.
But this card is probably sitting around in a lot of people's Saskia Commander decks, just sitting there not doing anything. And people probably haven't realized that it's $28.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was even a thing. So, to add to the creature side of things, there is a creature that we forgot about.
Ooh, Birds of Paradise.
No. Omnath, Locus of Mana.
Ooh, green mana.
You don't lose unspent green mana as the steps and phase ends, so we've got now black and red green and red sorted.
Yeah.
And it's had another reprint in the new Commander Legends Commander set?
Collection.
Commander Green
Commander
Collection. That's it.
There we go.
So it's only $10 now.
Yeah, yeah. I've been looking for a home for it. Maybe I just build this Yurlok deck.
I mean, yeah. And then
um,
I did have another one.
yeah, go for it.
Keeper of Progenitus. 3 and a green for a 1/3. Whenever a player taps a mountain, forest, or plains for mana, that player adds 1 mana to their mana pool of each type that land produced. Now, it doesn't have the logo plains, so we can run it in this deck.
Oh, that is very nice.
But that's 3
Yeah,
of the 5 colours
yeah, that'll do it.
that will double some mana for everyone else, which they'll start to think is a good thing until they realise what's happening.
Yeah. Keeper of Progenitus. I'll have to keep that on my radar because that was not anywhere close for me.
Ah.
So creatures. Our count on creatures is what? 14.
14.
Okay.
And we
So I
have
think at this point,
19 slots.
I like the synergy card. I threw in a Mana Gorger Hydra. 2 and a green for a trampling 1/1 Hydra. That is completely innocuous and non-threatening. Whenever a player casts a spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Mana Gorger Hydra. So as we force people to play more things with the extra mana that they're not trying to take burn damage from, our Hydra grows bigger.
Yeah. And who doesn't like a big trampler?
Yep. And I personally liked the Rampaging Ferocidon as well. It is the dinosaur from Ixalan. The 3/3 menace that makes players not able to gain life. And whenever another creature enters the battlefield, Rampaging Ferocidon will deal 1 damage to that creature's controller. So it will also deal damage to us.
And players can't gain life.
Yep. A little bit of a non-combo with the the other card, Tainted Remedy. But
yep.
You can certainly play around that or play it after a board wipe and it's in your graveyard, things of that sort.
I mean, it's only 1 card out of the 100 that it's going to affect.
Right.
Oh, and Great Henge.
Ooh, yeah, I didn't even think about that. And how are we looking on the creature count now? So we're at 14, 16 after all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we could afford to throw a Brash Taunter in there, right?
I mean, Zach would be upset if we didn't.
Right. So Brash Taunter is our favorite red goblin.
Second
1/1
best goblin.
indestructible.
Second best.
You two can debate that. Whenever Brash Taunter is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to target opponent, but it also has 2 and a red activated ability to tap it, and it will fight another target creature, which, if we're generating 3 mana from Yurlok, it's a perfect way to just activate a fight for 1 mana, essentially.
And we have a lot of 6/6s as well.
Yes, we do.
And if Locust is getting big, if the Nightshade Harvest is getting big, Leyline Tyrant's a 4/4. We've got some big creatures out here.
We definitely have some big creatures. And I think we're looking a little light on removal. Is that correct?
Removal seems an issue.
I mean, we're definitely not short in that regard as far as in our colors.
What about Assassin's Trophy?
Yep. Any permanent. I love it.
Any permanent, yeah. And then also you got Beast Within.
Yeah, seems great.
Again, any
Um,
permanent.
yeah, I like both of those. Actually, I'm also going to suggest a. Where did that card go? Uh, I don't know if we want to go that high with the removal. However, Death Sprout is one that is very friendly. Destroy a target creature, and you get to ramp one basic land card.
Yeah, we destroy something and then we get the land.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems nice. I can see that. And my other one was Crows and Grip, just in case something
Needs to be
needs to
removed.
be removed quick. It's that
That's
split
fair.
second that I love.
Absolutely. Um,
Now, we've got 13 slots left. Are we
but
going to want
did,
to do any ramping?
did you have any suggestions in mind? The big thing for me as far as ramp is that Yurlok is a 4 CMC commander, so in an opening hand, you always typically want to have something that ramps you at least on 2 so you can get it out on turn 3, right?
So, 3 wishes?
Yep. 3 wishes is great. I like uh so I mean, did we put the Birds of Paradise in earlier? Because that's also going to help with
It's not three, it's
that
three
entire game plan.
visits, isn't it? Not wishes.
3 visits. 3 visits.
I mean, we don't even have a soul ring in here yet.
But do we need it?
I think it's the wrong deck for a soul ring. I think an arcane signet's better.
I agree. I don't think that a Soul Ring is going to do enough because if we just have Yurlok doing 3 mana anyways, it's kind of a ramp. The goal is just to get to 4 for me personally.
Yeah,
Um,
so
so I mean, we can either just rock ramp in terms of all the signets, Gruul and
or
Rakdos, and
do you want to do talismans?
we can throw those in there as well if we want to
Um,
just have consistency. So as far as ramping, we could just go all of that route.
so what we've got Gruul signet. Um,
Rakdos Signet,
and the
and then it'd be
Golgari signet.
Golgari. Yep, Golgari Signet would be the last one. Um,
That puts us to 92 cards.
yep.
So we have the
And if we want,
arcane.
yeah, and if we want additional ways, we could also do outside of 3 visits. You can do things like Explore, which lets you play an additional land this turn, and you draw a card. Um, although any of the 2 mana search your library for a forest and put it into the battlefield works as well. Which one is that? Farseek?
Let's have a look.
Farseek seems great.
So, Farseek, search your library for a plains, island, swamp, or mountain.
Yep. So
Noted
2
that's
out of
not
the.
basic either, so we could go get ourselves a triome. Because it already comes into the battlefield tapped.
I believe Jund doesn't have triomes as of yet.
Well, then we can go get the new snow lands.
Snowlands of the future. Yep.
What's the name of that snow land?
I don't know off the top of my head, but let me go ahead and take a look. So let me see what we're looking like. So as far as the deck, we have 3 sorceries, 7 instants, handful of artifacts, 17 creatures. Our commander's the focus, basically.
Yeah.
And how many cards are we up to, Lotus, right now?
We have 6 remaining.
I mean, easily enough. I mean, we're definitely lacking in creatures, and we've got 21 enchantments. We could either make cuts to the enchantments, or we could just put in a bunch of enchantress cards.
I mean, we could put in
I mean,
some
the
enchantress cards.
yeah. I was also thinking because of us being so enchantment heavy, we can also go with a destiny spinner, just as an easy creature and enchantment spells you control can't be countered.
Yeah. It's only 2 mana, plus there's a mana sink built into it.
Yep, 6 mana, just right on it at face value.
Yeah, that seems
I don't know
reasonable.
that. Oh, actually, the mana sink is actually 3 and a green, so it's 4 total. But yes, uh, target land you control will become an XX elemental creature with trample and haste until end of turn, where X is the number of enchantments you control. So it could be up to a 21/21 in our.
That seems fair. Um, did we also want one more ramp card, Nature's Law?
Nature's Lore sounds great.
I was trying to think of it.
Ooh, I actually have. I might have one. I might have 2 more enchantments potentially.
Oh, okay.
That I completely forgot out on. We don't have to necessarily include them, but I just want to give them at least honorable mentions.
Okay.
Uh, Due to the fact that Yurlok is going to want to be out a
Yes.
lot. And it's pseudo protection for Yurlok slash ourselves.
Mm,
I was gonna suggest let's start with smoke.
smoke.
Yep. 2 red for an enchantment, and players cannot untap more than 1 creature during their untap phases.
Oh, okay.
So we can untap Yurlok, but it also has vigilance, so keep that in mind.
Yeah.
It's only going to tap with if we activate the ability, and we have ways to untap them. So we could potentially just untap one additional thing if need be. However, anybody that's got a go wide strategy
It's
will not
gonna.
be able to swing in for a lot.
Yeah.
And along the same lines along similar lines, the other one that I was thinking about was Quest for Renewal. It is actually another one of the part of the cycles of uh, quest counters. Whenever a creature you control becomes tapped, you may put a quest counter on Quest for Renewal for 1 and a green. As long as there are 4 or more quest counters on Quest for Renewal, untap all creatures you control during each other player's untap step. So you have
Ooh.
a Seedborn Muse ability
Then
on Yurlok.
let's just put Seaborn in as well then.
We certainly could. This was the other more fun one for me.
No, I. So, yeah. Quest seems very good.
Yeah.
Did I even put it in? I didn't. Oh, I did. There it is.
It's hidden amongst the 23 enchantments now.
Yeah. So we've got one card to add, which I'm going to just put the champion in. Cetacean champion.
Oh, yeah, that'll work.
Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1 counter on it and draw a card.
Certainly. Yeah. We didn't even go over any of those, but yeah, we can do all kinds of enchantress effects. Enchantress's presence.
Eidolon Blossoms.
Yep, Eidolon Blossoms. Any of those would also work. And even if they are higher up in CMC, they would also work because we just have Yurlok to just give us 6 mana, 7 mana.
Just, yeah, it's just a ramp in himself.
Yep. Which is one of the reasons I love that instill energy so much. It's just 1 green to just put it on Yurlok and then you can do it twice.
God, yeah.
It's so fantastic.
So, is there any cards that you feel shouldn't be in this deck?
Um,
Like, is Zozu a bit too mean?
it might just be. I
Because
think that
that does less but doesn't hurt us. Zozu hurts us as well.
right. I would agree with that. I think that yeah, if you got Nightshade Harvester, I think it's fine.
So we've got Zancha, Walking Ballista, Stone Shaker, Shizuku, Cetacean Champion, Seedborn Muse, Rampaging Ferocidon, even though it's kind of nomboing with two other cards. Rakdos,
Right.
Omnath, Nightshade, Neheb, Managorger, Magus of the Vineyard, Lineland Tyrant, Keeper of Progenitus, Destiny Spinner, Brash Taunter, Belby, and Archfiend of Despair.
Yeah, I think if we do wind up cutting some cards, it wouldn't be the worst. Just for card draw at that point, I think that's the one. That's the area we're lacking on the absolute most right now.
Card draw, yeah.
So I think we can kind of shore that up with Eidolon of Blossoms. Yeah, Verduran Enchantress is another one that's very, very cheap. Verduran. And I
Whenever
think
you're
that's
playing enchantment, you may draw a card. Yeah?
yeah. So I think that's just some card draw effects with a bunch of enchantments that we already have
We're one
on here.
over. So we're running 36 lands, but we have Yurlok. I think we can cut one, can't we?
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Though there is one card that I really think we should run. In fact, there's two that I think we should run to close out games if we can't, with Yurlok himself. The first one is Exsanguinate.
Yeah, if we're generating a bunch of red mana and have 2 black, yeah, we can certainly do that.
And we gain all the life that's lost, which is very good. Plus, that will also trigger, if we do it in main phase 1, Neheb.
Yep, exactly. And I think that along the same lines, if we want one more closer, I mean, Torment of Hailfire.
That was my second one.
Yep, along the same lines, right? We just
yeah, 2 big finishes.
if you want just win conditions immediately. Yep, I think those are fine.
Yeah. That puts us at 102 though.
Yep, so we just have to cut 2 cards. This is
cards.
usually how you and I brew decks.
This is actually very good for us.
Even...
Normally we're 120 and that's without land.
Yep. So what enchantments do you think are not necessarily? Because I think 9 artifacts, instants. I think we're good on the number count across the board fairly evenly.
I think Destructive Flow might be more hindrance to us.
But we want it because Benson said so.
But we do. I hate to say it, I kind of want to keep Dragon Roost, but I understand if you say it's terrible and has to go. Or Heartbeat of Spring. It's not adding any additional mana, it's just changing our mana to tap for any colour.
I think either one is fine. I don't think it hurts either way. If I'm leaning towards one, I would say probably the Heartbeat of Spring.
Whenever a player taps a land for mana, that player adds 1 mana of any type that land produced.
It adds one mana.
That does add one mana. Yeah, I thought it said instead.
If I'm being honest, let me see here. I think that you can do either Archfiend or Wound reflection. I personally would take the wound reflection out because we have so many ways of generating a lot of mana.
Yeah, and we need
And
the creatures more
Rac-
than the enchantments.
right. So I think the Rakdos Lord of Riots can also just pump it out for 2 black.
Yeah.
So if it comes down to it, I think that that's a better option um, for the same effect. And then outside of that,
Explore.
yeah, we could cut explore for the ramp.
Because we've got 3 visits, Nature's Laws, and Farseek.
Yeah,
We
I think
have
that that's fine.
Arcane
I think the
Signet,
explore.
and
Yeah, I think
then
the explore is fine.
Golgari Grawl and Rakdos Signet. We have the Great Henge for more ramp.
Yeah, I
Crawling.
think this looks solid. And
Yeah.
keep in mind, this is all without a soul ring.
This is without a soul ring. Who needs a soul ring? I'm quite happy with that.
Benson says you can cut it. If you ran all basics, it'd be glorious, but you're too willing to you.
I mean, I don't consider us running anything much in the way of non-basics.
Yeah, I mean we can do with, you know, um I think we can do with changing it to, just the basic shock lands and even check lands, and I think that's fine.
I mean, if we do Shocklands, that means we can use Farseek, 3
Exactly.
visits, and
Yeah, we haven't
Nature's
touched any
Law.
of the land base. Um yeah. So
So, I mean, if you really wanted to, just for argument's sake, we can put in a Stomping Ground. Was it Blood Crypt? And trying to remember the other one.
Stomping Ground, Blood Crypt, and Golgari. So Overgrown Tomb.
That's it. And then there's our 3 lands. There we go. So we can now get our forest, mountain or swamp, plains, island, swamp or mountain. Yeah. I think that's reasonable.
I certainly think so as well. I think besides that, any utility lands, the one that is just an entirely pet card. I just want to discuss it because
Okay.
it seems too good. Uh, you know that hideaway land, Spine Rock Knoll? It just needs for us to deal 7 damage.
Spine Rock.
Spine Rock Knoll, hideaway land, the one that comes in tapped, adds a red, and you can pay a red and tap it, and you can play whatever exiled card you hit away without paying its mana costs if an opponent was dealt 7 or more damage this turn.
I'm happy with that.
I don't think it's a very hard requirement.
I mean, come off it. If I'm putting Dragon Roost in, I think Spine Root Knock is is absolutely fine.
Yeah. The only other thing that I can think of, we don't have a Triome, but we do have Savage Lands. If we wanted one tapped land that taps for any of ours, and if we're on the subject of lands, um,
I'm trying to remember what the snow ones were. Because I think they would actually be very viable in this.
especially with Call Time coming up, I don't disagree.
Let me try and find them. Because it was recent. It was one of their first spoilers from their stream. So it's further. No, that's Vorinclex.
Are you just talking about the snowlands that are the common ones that come in tapped?
Yeah. So we've got Highland Forest. Let's see if it's actually on here.
Yeah.
They are.
Benson put it in chat earlier. Highland Forest, Woodland Chasm, and Sulphurous Mire, which I really like the art on Sulphurous Mire.
Uh,
Highland Forest.
Trying to get Sulphurous Maya.
Okay.
And
Sulfurous.
the last one was
Woodland Chasm. So yeah, if we're running all basics, it's glorious. But yeah, I mean, if we wanted to cut the destructive, the one artifact that I actually did not that I wanted to put in here was a well, I've got two, but I'll pick one.
well, what's both of them? Come on.
Victory Chimes, but the one that makes more sense is a Mage Right Stone.
So
Mage
Victory
Right.
Chimes is that's the one that you can give a player a mana.
Yeah, any one mana.
Yeah, and the other?
And then Mage Right Stone, Mage and then Wri. It's a one word. Mage Right.
One and tap. Untap target creature that has an activated ability with tap in its cost.
Yep.
Okay. I can see that.
Nice and cheap. Nice for two.
So, the only reason these are red is because they've not yet released, so they're technically not legal yet.
Right.
We're back at 101 though, huh?
Well, yeah. Oh, is that with Destructive coming out?
The Destructive comes out. Okay, sorry, Benson.
No, I mean that's what he was saying. If you were to make the mana base a little bit more fixed and not just straight basics, then yeah, I think that's the one that is cut. And I think that at that point we're at 100.
Yeah, we have Blood Moon, so that's another thing.
Yeah.
But no, I think we can search for these swamp forests because these common new snowlands are absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
So we can use them to search with our Farseek, 3 visits, lore, nature's lore. I'm quite happy with this.
I'm quite happy with this as well. The only thing that I will say, that we are in a gen deck and we don't have too much recursion, which I'm sure Zach would be unhappy with us about. However, I think I'm okay with the deck not having a whole bunch of recursion, just so that it's not more painful than it already is.
Yeah, I mean, we're not looking to recast what we've done. We're looking to cast what we've got in our hand.
Right. Oh, that does remind me.
Oh?
Price of Progress was one I had considered. What do you think about it?
Oh, Price of Progress. So, for 1 and a red, we get an instant. Price of Progress deals damage to each player equal to twice of the number of non-basic lands that player controls.
Yeah.
Ooh. We are running mostly basics.
It doesn't hurt us too much, but
it is land themed. I'll give it you that. Now we're.
I mean, just think about Price of Progress into any kind of the shenanigans we just talked about, like Neheb or anything else. It's going to generate a lot of mana either way, and it's nice and easy to cast. Instant for 2.
We're back at 101. We're terrible at this.
No, this is exactly how you and I brewed it. We forgot one. Yeah.
So
I would say just cut any one thing. Pick and choose.
Pick and choose.
Probably another enchantment, if I'm being honest.
I was looking at this.
Maybe the Death Sprout is probably the one that goes.
Actually, I probably agree. I think
we can have one less removal and just go with our game plan, and I think that's fine.
I think that's fine. Is there any more suggestions?
Ooh. I mean, Benson said cut Blood Moon instead of the Death Sprout, but
I mean, that's going to draw us hate, and if we want them to play non-basics, that's going to be another nombo.
Right. But
Eh,
it also generates us a bunch of red that we can put away with Leyline Tyrant.
oh god, I forgot about that. Oh no. I think
Take it out and I'll forgive you, Benson says.
no, I'm gonna keep that. Yeah, no, I Benson. Yeah, we're keeping your yeah, no, that's done. That's in. Ah,
You know you built a good deck when it makes you giggle, right?
oh, yeah. When you can look at a deck and giggle and go, "This is dirty," I like it.
Oh man, speaking of dirty, you should have seen what Zach did to Brian last night. He he tapped 10 creatures to deal triple damage to them. I don't know what spell it was. He was playing a mono red deck with the one with the devils, and he just dealt 30 damage to Brian out of nowhere. He had
Ooh,
32 life and the mana crypt killed him.
that's hilarious.
But
Oh,
yeah, I think we have a deck, Lotus.
I'm really happy with it. So
It's actually fairly balanced.
it's balanced. We've got the card draw built in. We've got some life gain. We've got win cons. We've got Extenuate, Torment of Hellfire. We've got Helix Pinnacle, which no one ever sees in decks mostly. Um, we've got Mana Burn,
Mana sinks.
Mana Sink.
We've got some of our favorite janks in here. Like I personally I love that. I love that 6 mana enchantment so much.
I mean,
The Rakdos
oh, I was looking at
Havoc
Dragon
Festival.
Roost.
No. Oh yeah. I like Dragon Roost as well. I think I really enjoy the thought of Havoc Festival. Like, hey, let's speed the game up, guys.
Yeah, especially when you've got Archfiend of Despair.
Well, I mean, they have multiple turns to remove it as a table because it is at the beginning of each player's upkeep. It doesn't trigger for everybody on each upkeep.
No,
But that is one of my favorite. I'm just gonna tap your lock twice and drop this. Here you guys go.
off you go. And
It'll hurt me too. Now, I mean, I personally wouldn't play that card unless you have an exquisite blood out, but that's just me.
we've got so many, and you've got Blood Chief Ascension, running off Pain Magnification.
Yeah. I mean, on any given game, you can have a quest counter on either Blood Chief Ascension, or you can have it off of the. You can have it off of, what was it? Quest for Renewal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we've got where's it gone? Install energy to untap our creatures. That was Yurlok. We have Seaborn
yeah.
Muse, Umbral
Eh,
Mantle,
I
Sword
mean,
of
I mean, Quest
Paragons.
for Renewal, if it has 4 quest counters, will also untap all creatures. So yeah,
Yeah, so with
I
that
mean,
trigger and the
it'll
other
it'll
trigger, we can untap twice in an upkeep.
yeah, you can. Well, Quest for Renewal is only creatures, unlike the Seaborn Muse, which will also untap your mana. But I mean, if you just have 1 mana up on an upkeep, you can, with the trigger on the stack, you can activate your lock and add 3 mana, and then
Do
do it one more time.
yeah,
Float it, do it one more time, and then let
everyone's got
the
six
untap
mana.
resolve. Everyone's got 6 mana on upkeep. That'll instantly burn them.
I'm
Messing
liking
with the
this.
rules of magic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
You do know
Yeah,
I've been
I like it.
fighting so hard not to put in Vidal Canori.
Oh yeah. No, I completely understand. I don't think the deck needs it. Oh man. If we. Oh, I. We need to cut this stream before I keep adding cards.
Yeah, okay, so we've done it for an hour and a half. We've built our deck. This is our Yurlok Burn Baby Burn Mana Burn deck. We're hoping to do this same time every Sunday night with a new commander. Um, but we want to either do a random commander or one from the suggestion of the chat. So I don't know if chat has a suggestion for us for next week, or if we should just do a random one.
I would say just kind of do it as a poll. We can also just have a poll up on Discord for any suggestions as well, for any ideas of what anybody wants to find as far as that's concerned, as far as a deck brew. Or we can also just go and hit random and wait until we hit a legendary creature like we discussed, and I think that's fine too. If
Yeah.
we want to just do oddball ones that nobody ever sees. But yeah, I think this is a deck, Lotus.
Yeah, so I think we should call it there with a job well done. If you liked content like this, you can find more of it on my YouTube channel, Lotus Bloom Gaming, or you can find other streams on the Twitch below. There'll also be a link to the Architect, which will have this saved, so you can see it for yourself, try it out, build it if you wish, and try it against your friends. If you do, let us know how it goes. It would be very interesting to see if this deck is actually viable. And also down below you can see other links to the Into the 99, who I'm a partner of. There's loads of articles, other cool creators and videos there for you to check out. But otherwise, I think that's it.
Yeah, we're good to go.
Yeah, so
thank you all for joining us, and yeah, give us any suggestions either here or I assume in YouTube comments, or Lotus. Yeah, we could just throw a poll up on either Into the 99 or your Discord.
I think I'm going to put it on both.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you are watching this on YouTube, like and subscribe for more content, and put in the comments what you think we should build next.
All right. We love you guys. We'll see you guys next time.
See you later. Ta-ta.